I want to show you guys $100 million print-on-demand case study of a website here. This website is called Elevated Faith. They probably don't necessarily do print-on-demand. They probably ship their own products at this scale. But all print-on-demand stores are pretty much the same, right? They're developing clothing, and they send them out to customers. It's really not that difficult. But the point is, I kind of want to share here, is that this brand, right, is no different than any other print-on-demand store. It's literally just art on products. There's nothing really too crazy, but this is a company, like I said, that's generated over $100 million in sales. And I want to break down, almost like a case study, how this company got to where it is. And the way I like to describe this is kind of like through a whiteboard, so just bear with me real quick. So imagine that you have a table here, right? I'll try to draw some sort of like 3D tabletop if I can, right? Imagine this is a table, and this table represents your platform, so essentially your website, right? And if I sat here and taught you guys how to generate or create a website, you could do it. You could follow my tutorial. Some people it might take them a week. Some people it might take them a few weeks, whatever, but you could get the job done. In fact, I've created a Shopify playlist in the past where I've shown how to do stuff like this, right? But the tabletop needs to have legs to stand on to be able to be called a table. Because if it doesn't have the legs, then it's just a flat surface at that point, right? Well, that's the same thing with print on demand and really any other website. And this kind of showcases it perfectly. Elevated Faith is a Christian clothing brand, right? But they have many, many different legs to stand on, which creates a huge financial foundation for this company. Let's go ahead and explore what some of these are. Let's take a look at the first thing. The first thing is Instagram, right? They have a huge Instagram following. They have 587,000 followers, and they're posting frequently. Like this post was posted 9 hours ago of the products, right? This post was posted 12 hours ago. This one was posted 2 days ago. Right here, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. So you kind of get the point, right? Almost like 2 posts, probably 2 to 3 posts a day. Okay? They also post story posts, right? So just like this, story post. So first thing is Instagram. And I can talk about how you can develop Instagram, right? For us normal people, right? And when I say normal people, we're not businesses that have hundreds of millions or even tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising. Some of us don't have that kind of capital or resource. There's other ways around it, and I've shared a strategy that 100% works for not only growing your Instagram, but getting sales. And getting sales is the most important part through Instagram. In fact, I created a Redbubble store years ago. It was the first Redbubble store I had created publicly, where I showed people the designs, I showed people the work, I showed people everything associated with it, and I created a Redbubble store alongside it. An Instagram alongside the Redbubble store. And guess what I did with that Instagram? I used it through a series of automations, and I was gaining followers. And within under 16 hours for that Redbubble store, I got my first sale through the Instagram. It wasn't because of organic reach on Redbubble. I had created essentially organic reach by forcing my designs to rank up within Redbubble. So that's the first thing, right? First thing, you can call it social media, you can call it Instagram, but really, there's different forms of social media. Let's go ahead and use Facebook, for example. So this Facebook profile is their profile. They have 419,000 followers. That is a lot of followers. They have 363,000 likes. Now, when you're advertising on Facebook, you're not necessarily looking for Facebook followers or Facebook likes. That's not what you're looking for. The reason why is because organic reach on Facebook pages are very low. But what you are looking for is you're looking to run Facebook ads. And those Facebook ads, right, I'll just write FB here, those Facebook ads become sales. And in the meantime, between this happening, there's a process in the middle where you develop fans, right? So this circle right here represents fans. And these fans follow you. So everything that you're seeing here, these, these Facebook likes and Facebook followers, These are fans of the brand through paid advertising. So these are examples that require money. So like, for example, if I was to create an Instagram today and I wasn't going to use the strategy that I personally know of to gain followers, to gain attention, to gain engagement and sales, if I was to do it just like every other normal person out there, I wouldn't gain any kind of success. Literally, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I wouldn't gain any success because there's only 3 ways to grow on Instagram. It's either number one, you pay influencers to give you shout outs and show, kind of show their audience your content. That's one, right? So you're paying for posts. The second strategy is paying for ads, or you could do it my strategy, which is automation. So there's only 3 ways aside from organic. And organic, like I said, is very, very rare growth. In fact, I challenge every single person here who doesn't believe me, go create a brand new Instagram account and just post content with 0 followers and 0 followers. You're not following anybody, just 0 everything. Just post content. You're not going to get anywhere. You could use all the hashtags you want. You could post the best content you want. Your content's not going to get pushed. And you can spend years trying. It's not going to work. We're in 2024. Facebook owns Instagram, and they only want paid advertising to be the promotional method. They're a media company at the end of the day that makes money from ads. So with Facebook and Instagram, these are social media tools that can allow you to reach individuals, but once again, they cost money. What's another leg that this business can stand on? Well, this business can stand on blogging, right? So I know when some people hear the word blogging, they really don't like to hear that word. Might give them some anxiety, some depression even. And trust me, I totally get it. Blogging is not one of those things that is necessarily a set it and forget it type thing. It's a little bit of work, right? I take that back. It is kind of set and forget, but it does take a lot of work. It's not something you could just snap your fingers and you make a ton of money overnight with. But this is their blog. It's called the Elevated Faith blog, and you could look at some of their posts, but they've been blogging for a very long time now, right? So you can go back here, page 6, and scroll down, and they started back in 2018. So from 2018 to 2024, that's like 6 years of blogging. And that's a long time, okay? So when you're creating your business, you want as many legs to stand on. Now you can say Instagram is one leg, Facebook is another leg, right? Threads is another. Let's go ahead and open up their Threads account. Let's scroll down here. Here it is, their Threads account. I personally don't mess with Threads. Never really get into it, but I'm sure some of you guys use it. But this is Threads, right? This is their Threads account. They have 82,000 followers. It's incredible how many, once again, quote unquote, legs they have to stand on. But that is Threads, right? They probably have other social medias as well. They have, account on Threads, Facebook, TikTok even. I'm not going to click on their TikTok, but the point is that they have all these different strategies. And what does this all come down to? If you really break this down, what does this represent? This represents diversification. That's all it represents. So what they're doing is they're finding different assets to produce a flow of traffic to their site. I'm sure they have influencers, I'm sure they have affiliates, and that creates another flow. I'm sure they have people that they're contracted with where they pay ads on different websites that don't include social media sites, right? Like maybe religious sites, maybe they pay for sponsorships, maybe they find influencers on YouTube and Instagram who do like modeling or anything like that happen to be Christians, and they send them their clothing and they hope for a free shout out. They pay them even like a sponsorship deal. These are all different ways to diversify, to grow your brand. And they're truthfully probably about 30 to 40 ways that you can attempt to grow a brand. The thing where people go wrong is, and I'm going to be kind of quite honest with you guys here, is they try something, right? One of these systems, whether it be Instagram, whether it be blogging, whether it be Facebook ads, whatever system, right? They try one system and they don't try it enough to see any kind of results, and they quit and they move on to the next system and the next one. And then eventually it gets to the point where that individual who's trying these different systems, they reach their maximum threshold. And eventually they quit the business altogether, right? And in the world of Shopify, we've talked about Shopify before. I've shown tutorials, I've shown step-by-step guides. In fact, if you go to my community post on my Facebook, I'm showing, not on my Facebook, sorry, on my YouTube channel, the community section. I actually want to pull it up while I'm talking. I'm showing my success on my Shopify store that is really new. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. If I go to YouTube and I search my username, Autopilot Passive Income, and I go here, go to my channel, and we go to community, right? I have here where is it here? Right here. So this is the latest post I made 3 days ago where our store was started on June 16th. And by the way, this is the exact same store as the one in the playlist series that I tutorialed. All I did was I took the store, I copied it over into a different website, into a different store, and I changed just a few things up, like the domain name, the logos, things like that, because I didn't want people to copy it word, design for design, ad for ad, because once you find the store, you could find the ads, you could find everything. So I didn't want people to copy it, but $1,704 since we started. This was as of 3 days ago. Okay, I haven't checked the numbers today, but I know that we are getting sales. I have a virtual assistant fulfilling the orders. All they have to do is click a few buttons. Everything is taken care of. The point is that this is a small brand. This is nothing crazy, right? But over time, as I'm working, I could potentially divert. Sorry about that tongue twister. Divert more time into it and start generating more likes. For me here, I was using Pinterest ads, and actually you could see this is, I believe, a couple days before this day, right? So this was 3 days ago. This was 9 days ago, and you can kind of see the difference in the income. But sorry, we got fireworks going on outside. I don't even know what's going on right now. Today's July 3rd. We're not July 4th yet, but here in the city, I guess a lot of fireworks going off. I don't know if you guys could hear the fireworks in the background, but hey, anybody who's listening, happy July 4th. But basically, let me get back to my thought process here. This is through Pinterest ads, okay? So Pinterest ads is what I've been using and what I have been using for years to kind of help me do my advertising. Now, don't get me wrong. Facebook is not bad. Google's not bad. They're all phenomenal tools. You use what you want to use, right? Everything is good. Everything works. You just have to have a strategy that works for that specific brand. And for me, I always look for areas of low competition, and I knew the products that I was selling would be very low competition on Pinterest, and so that's what I kind of went for. But the point is that every kind of strategy you may have leads you to a new pathway to success. And the faster you can learn something and go all out and go all in on it, then you kind of have a stronger leg to stand on for that business. And the number one reason why people close down their Shopify stores is because the costs are just too high. They can't maintain the costs, so they shut it down. And for a lot of people, what happens is that they think in 30 days they can create a Shopify store, create the ads, and make money overnight. Or at least in the period of the trial, or at least in the first month. And the reality is that it takes a little bit longer than that, especially if it's your first time. I could imagine if somebody's built 10 stores before and they know exactly what they're doing, they could definitely hop on there and in 5 to 3 days build something and make money off of it. I truly believe that could happen. I've had experiences like that to me in the past, not necessarily on Shopify, but in other experiences. But for somebody it's their very, very first time, you really need to give yourself some time. So with this being said, this is a perfect example of something that you can build over time, right? I always say this, but I'll really hammer it home in this video, is that you don't need to make $1 million overnight. You don't need to buy a mansion overnight. You don't need to get the fancy cars overnight. You don't need to do any of that stuff. You don't need to be a success overnight story, because your success is going to take you a long time to get there. You're going to have to acquire knowledge. You're going to have to go through hardships. You're going to have to go through failures. And the reality is the people who are successful, they've gone through more failures than the people who are not successful. Because the only way you can cross that path into success is you fail your way through. People say fall forward into success. You really have to just make as many mistakes as possible so you know what mistakes not to make. And then when you make a mistake and you learn that it's a mistake, you make sure. You don't even negotiate with yourself. You make sure it never happens again. And that's just how you get better. And the more you get better, the faster you have at a chance of succeeding. There's a lot of videos where you see people making tens of thousands of dollars when they first start. I always say this is that they're one of two things. Either they're very, very, very talented, right, and very special, and they have a very high IQ, and there's something very special about them that most people don't have, or they have years and years and years of experience and they know what they're doing. It's one of the two. There's no way somebody who doesn't know anything about the business and has average IQ just gets into a business and does extremely well. It doesn't happen. Out of 100 people, 94, I believe, canceled their Shopify subscription in the first month. And the rest of the 6 people, only one becomes successful, massively successful, and the rest break even. So we're talking about very small numbers here. And the business game, especially print on demand, it's no different than any other business out there. It's just a matter of how long can you keep going while learning. It's not a matter of just standing in place. You have to keep moving forward and figure out how you can improve yourself, right? Because if you just sit there and you're just in the business as long as possible, that's not going to help you. You need to improve on a day-to-day basis. All right, guys, so hope this was inspiring to you. This is a company, like I said, made over $100 million. You don't need to make $100 million. You don't even need to make $10 million. You could take your little sliver of a pie, and for everyone that's different. You could be in Peru and you make $25,000 and you're good to go for life. Somebody else could be living in Tunisia and make $5,000 for the year and is good to go. Everybody's at a different level. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully this video was inspirational and, more importantly, grounding to show you guys the reality of how some businesses are built. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.